Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. I'm Richard and this is Lap of the World. As promised in my last installment, this video will be the first in probably a short series of videos in which I document my efforts to DIY the major service on my 1992 NSX. At 289,000 miles, she was due for another timing belt and water pump change, which are the primary components of the major service on an NSX. Now, I say it's probably a short series of videos because I do anticipate with this car, as always, finding some while I'm in there items that I'll want to take care of. And to keep things digestible, I'm going to break it up into kind of logical episodes. But I'm going to be doing a lot more showing than telling, and I want to get straight into things. But before we get to step number one in the shop manual, which I'll show you, there's kind of a 0th step that I would like to cover, and that is a little bit of additional workspace prep. You'll remember in my last video, I set up a large table nearby on which I can put parts and hardware as they come off the car. Just to protect the table a little bit, I covered it in some tar paper to help deal with the inevitable schmoo that will follow some of the parts off of the car. On the table, I've also staged a number of sealable snack bags as well as a Sharpie marker in order to bag and tag all hardware as it comes off. To protect the car while I'm working, I applied a quick layer of nano wax as something of a release agent, and then went with an approach commonly seen with Ferrari owners at track days and used a lot of painter's tape. I picked this stuff in particular because it says it's for delicate surfaces, and therefore I expect it to come off at the end of the job without any hassle or damage. Generally speaking, if I know I'm going to be elbows deep in the engine compartment, I just dress accordingly and wear things with no zippers or rivets or anything else that might harm the paint. In this case though, the tape is just an extra measure to manage any abrasion that might happen between my shirt, any debris, and the otherwise painted surface. So as we get into the instructions, the top notes before the numbered steps say to turn the crankshaft to set things at number 1 top dead center. We will get there because that's way easier to do once you have the spark plugs out. Then it says before removing the timing belt, mark the direction of rotation if it is to be reused. We are not reusing the belt, so we will not be doing that. Moving right along then, let's jump straight into the numbered steps. Now at this point the instructions specify to lower the car again, however I don't have the rear suspension on the car, so instead I bought a stool. So this is what 6.5 is like. I hate mismatched hardware. God. So just be careful on both of my injector covers. These standoffs wanted to make a bid for freedom. So I just had to separate them from the covers and put them right back in because they're not, they don't have to come off for what we're doing. So the easiest way to keep track of them is to just have them be where they're supposed to be. Note on the coolant expansion tank, the service manual is only calling for you to simply relocate it slightly, not remove it from the car. In fact, they explicitly call out to not disconnect the hoses. In my case, I was replacing all of my coolant hoses at the same time, hence why it is out of the car with the hoses disconnected. Quick pro tip with the service manual, you'll note the last item here on this page says remove the breather hose and the air cleaner, and then references a page number for a different section. In other words, they're not going to cover it here because they've covered it somewhere else. If you're using Chrome or another browser that's tab-based, you can often go up here and pick to duplicate the tab, and then you can end up having the other pages pulled up in a separate tab rather than having to scroll back and forth or flip back and forth. Everything that I've done up until this point has largely been disassembly autopilot because they are things that I've done before, in some cases multiple times. Moving forward though, we're getting into largely uncharted territory for me, so I'll be slowing down a little bit and covering it in a little more detail because if I haven't done it myself, then I certainly haven't done it on the channel, and part of this is both to help me in the future when I go to do it again and to help you guys if you decide to tackle this job yourself. So that's what you can expect probably in the next video. I think now is going to be a good point at which to call it. And then we will pick up next time with removing the valve covers themselves, getting everything set to top dead center, and moving forward from there. So I will see you in that one.